Hello everyone and welcome back to EchPlays. I'm Esh, and this is 4Play, where we take a look in 4 parts at a brand new game. This is Oxygen Not Included, and this is the 4th and final part. And guess what? Boom. Welcome to what I like to call Little Hole Boys. This is the base that I've been working on stream. I was thinking, you know what? We could work on this small shitty base that I've been putting an hour and a half into, or we can take a look at this base, which I probably put about 12 hours into-ish on stream. And I decided, you know what, I would rather do it this way because you guys can see a version of the game 52 cycles in and get an idea of what something deeper into the game feels like. So yeah, we've got our dudes going. Let's unpause and let them run around. They're doing stuff. Let's take a look at our priorities here. You guys can see we have a lot of different stuff going on. For instance, we have our big project is really just digging at this point. That's sort of where we are now. Like, we've got a lot of our necessities already built. Power generation is in a good place. We don't always have to have people running now, even though that's what some people just like to call running. Doris Diggler here is a savant when it comes to running, honestly. But we have 2 coal generators down here. We have a hydrogen genny here and a hydrogen genny here. Pro tip, hydrogen generators are garbage at creating energy, but they're the only way to dispose of hydrogen early on. There's at all, basically, in this version of the game. I'm sure they're going to add other things that you can do with hydrogen later in development, but right now, hydrogen is there, and the only way to get rid of it is to pump it into a generator. Hydrogen's created by naturally digging into pockets like this over here, but you're going to see it come out of your electrolyzers here, and also batteries produce it. There may be some other ways, but those are the 2 main ways I know of. And you could potentially create a decent farm of hydrogen if you put a shit ton of batteries and then put pumps at the top of those batteries. But the hydrogen generators are super inefficient unless you have so much hydrogen. Like, so much hydrogen. So much. How would you ever? Who knows? But yeah, you can see that at this point, they're just digging and doing art. Like, we've gotten to a point where we're pretty comfortable with things. We've gotten to a point where the next phase of, I think, playing the game would just to be build everything I've already built again. And, of course, go out to this other stuff, like Abyssalite and things like that. The problem is that, like, there's not a whole lot else to do at this point. Like, I've kind of done everything. If you go to the research table, you can see I have everything except for the stuff that you don't need until you dig out to the places that are hot. Because the rest of this stuff is essentially temperature related, because pressure management isn't going to be an issue until you're in temperature situations, or situations where a lot of gases are being moved. And then you're not going to... These are all temperature stuff. Like, dissipates heat, stuff that it allows for a high heat stuff with minimal change in temperature, or keeping things cool as they move through it, etc. So, like, the only thing really great is the insulated tile here, but that's like heat related. Like right now I'm going for med bay because simply there's nothing else in either of these 3 that I really need until I dig out here. And the only reason I would dig out here is because I'm bored as hell. So, like, well, you can tell sort of where the development is once you get around this point. That's not to say it's not worth it. $20 for this game. I've played this for a good 30 or more hours already, and I could see myself starting new colonies over and over again just to do things a little differently here and there. It's a great game. So if you look at this colony, it's a lot different than our other one. So for instance, we have these single block rooms, because whenever our dudes, Idiosha for instance, she's a real idiot. That's her name. We got King Bertrude here, Chef Lil Nips, named after his tiny nips. He's never going to take his shirt off at the pool again, I'll tell you that. We got Nom Nom Johansson, he's a chef as well. Noggin, etc. All sorts of stuff going on here. But what if they want to come in, That's a noise that actually sounds a little bit like R2-D2 masturbating. But what I'm saying is, what if they need a little private time, you know what I'm saying? Woohoo! I don't know what's happening. I'm having some sort of woohoo based seizure right now. But what I'm saying is, whatever happens in here stays in here. Additionally, it sort of helps with the people who have loud sleeping if you do single beds in each room. So that's what I decided to do. I wanted to test it out, and I did it on this base. Boom. Once you get zoomed in here, it's super fucking loud. Jesus Christ. There are a wily bunch of clones, the duplicates. So I guess I'll give you guys a tour. So we've got these caps, as I call them, these little air tanks, essentially. And they're at the very top of the base with the intention of not really building too much above them, because we want them to be the highest points. Additionally, we have a symmetrical system where we have the same at the bottom. And these gather the lighter gases, and these gather the heavy gases. And by that I mean these gather hydrogen, these gather the carbon dioxide. And then we put the stuff within them that we think are going to reduce the problems those gases cause. So the only thing you can do with hydrogen right now is essentially pump it into a generator. There's no way to get it out of the air otherwise, so that's what we're forced to do. Don't think you're going to get a lot of actual power solutions from the hydrogen generator because they're garbage, but you need it because you need to get rid of the hydrogen somehow. Additionally, because we actually need power, we have coal generators and these dudes running as our main sources of power as well, and it's really solid. The problem, of course, is that coal is not a renewable resource, so at some point you're just gonna have to figure something out. Like, you can sort of see where the development is at, right? Once you get to around the 52 mark, you can sort of see what the hell's happening. There's not a whole lot left to do, and there are some drop-offs and problems that are not completely solvable with the tools that are currently in the game. That said, you can get a good 12-ish hours into a colony at about this rate, at about this place, maybe more. This is a very rough calculation. This is the base that I've been building on my stream, and it's like 6 hours of 2 days each. So yeah, this is about what you're expecting, and honestly, it's a fantastic journey. I would definitely consider starting a new colony or two just to do things a little differently, have some fun. Down here we have the water purifier, because also water is a significant problem in the game right now. Like, let's say the water purifier takes contaminated water, like urine, feces, dirty water from the showers, and it converts it into clean water. So it's going down from here, it's going over into this good tank, and we're using it, we're drinking clean urine water, just like IRL. That tap water, ooh, that's a urine. That's some urine, boys. They say they clean it, but I don't trust them. Don't trust the government. That could be, you know what? That's Donald Trump's urine. You're drinking it. What are you doing? He's probably going and peeing in that shit personally. He's like, fuck Flint, Michigan, and he goes and just pees into a bucket and just sends it over there. But regardless, politics aside, that's just sort of what you're resorting to once you get the natural water pools that are sort of in the vicinity fixed. And then you have like these guys. I don't know how this happened, but I'm assuming it's some sort of situation where it's like, on the first day, God created the planet. On the second day, God created the giraffes. On the third day, God peed into caves. And this is what this is. But basically, you're going to have to start pumping these naturally occurring contaminated water pockets into something like this, and then doing this to get water. But that's a limited resource. Like, this map is only so big. It is pretty big. I don't even know how big this map is, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm holding it down. It's pretty fucking huge. Maybe there's other water pockets too up there, but even so, even if it was like huge, you're still only going to have so much contaminated water to process. So, like, there is an end to this. You're just eventually going to die at some point, You're eventually not going to have a solution to the power problems you run into outside of just... I could potentially see you having to resort back to just having a bunch of manual generators running because you're out of coal. Like, we're out of coal right now. What is that fucking noise? It's like a dying cat. I still can't identify everything that's happening. One thing you don't want to do, that I ran into a problem on one of my colonies, is not building a massage table early enough and then not thinking, oh, they're never stressed out. My colony is the best. They go around, they have a great time. What do? They eat worms. What do? They dig rocks and stuff. Oh, that's real fun. What do? They breathe really nice oxygen. That's sometimes not very nice. Sometimes they suffocate a little bit in their sleep and they have to go breathe in the middle of the night. Whatever. And then all of a sudden, boom, you got stress boys and they just vomit everywhere. They will vomit so much. There's going to be so much vomit involved, you won't even know what the hell to do about it. Well, that can be fixed with a Masagi table, is what I'm trying to tell you. So I've got 4 of them. Now, you could potentially build one for every dude. I have 14 guys, and that's because I sort of canceled a bunch in the middle, because I rejected a bunch in the middle because I was having some oxygen problems. I didn't want to add new people to it before I fixed them. Right now, I'm in a place where I can accept more dudes, but for a good, like, 4 or 5 times, I had to cancel. Go up here, and what I like to do is just look at the top 4 people. Like, right now, we only have 2 people with some significant stress. We got Chef Lil Nips. Oh, look at those nips. They're so tiny. Then we got Scrote, named after, of course, the scrotum, because that's what he smells like. So let's go ahead and we can go over here and say, okay, we're Chef Lil Nips and Scrote. Chef Lil Nips, boom. And, of course, we need Scrote, the infamous red-headed Scrote, which is also a bird, I'm thinking. I think it's a bird. Any bird watchers out there, tell me what you think of the red-headed Scrote. Is it a beaut? Thank you. Leave it in the comments. So what I've done here is on my 4 tables, I have a 9 priority table, an 8 priority table, a 7 priority table, and a 6 priority table. And essentially I go through and I say, okay, the highest stress goes here, the next goes there, the next goes there, the next goes there. And that way, they don't have to be on the massage table constantly unless they are, in fact, the most stressed. If they're winning the stress race, then they go on the big table and they get a massage no matter what. But if they're like only marginally stressed, they can come to a massage table every once in a while between like the important tasks and stuff. Let's let them do their jobs. Now that we have these boys on their tables accordingly, there they are. Oh, they love it. Look at those faces. Oh, pound them. Pound them. How is that running? Who knows? I could have easily... That noise kills me. I don't really know what that noise is. I think it's some noise that they're making, but my god, it's not the best. It isn't. Okay, so let's go ahead and harvest. So this is our farm, and I've set everything to 7s on this. So as long as I use a 7 on my harvest tool, it'll all be 7 priority. Boom, 7. So now they'll go up there, and the mealworms, or whatever the fuck they are, the lice, essentially, that you're getting from these, are actually fantastic. But unfortunately, there's not much else you can do outside of making them into lice patties, or whatever the fuck they are. Lice loafs. Because this is our cooking station, and all it can do is fry mush bars. It can't make, like, advanced lice loafs, unfortunately. I would love a nice buttered lice loaf, a garlic lice loaf. I do love that this is like a painting they've made of actual food in the kitchen. That is actually very fortuitous for me. The rest of the paintings, fucking hell. We could have had this asshole up there, the crude painting. So the reason that some of them are cruder than others is like their creativity points that they had. So like this is garbage, right? But like the better creativity was obviously can do this in sort of like the Mona Lisa versions. It's really interesting, actually. It relieves their stress though, so you don't want to like necessarily limit who does what. And eventually you could potentially get rid of these. Just go through and destroy all the ugly ones and put new ones up. Because honestly, decor doesn't really impact me so much. I've tried to weed out people who have decoration needs that are like above the normal 5 or so. Once you get to the decoration 30 stuff, they're probably going to be super angry about their surroundings. But I've been trying late in the game to sort of beautify things, add paintings and statues to places. So you can see there are some green spots in our decoration overlay. It's exciting. It's really exciting being a part of the old Little Hole Boys. Actually, I think this place was called the Knights of Vom, named after vomit. because that's one of their favorite pastimes, I've learned. Fucking hell. There is, of course, a thing going around where you make a vomit base, and essentially you just make them vomit all the time and have your base built so that no matter where they vomit, the water will run down into tanks. The vomit will run down into tanks. And then you use that water to essentially have unlimited water and other things of that nature. It's ridiculous, if I'm being honest. It's pretty ridiculous. I don't think it's it doesn't sound fun to me, so I haven't really done it. I haven't built one. I say that. I built one, but it was completely on accident, and their vomit ran into the good water and made it all vomit water. So, like, fuck. Just punch me in the throat. It's fine. But here it is, everybody. Let's fast forward to the night. It's really just a riveting time to be a duplicate in this weird cave system. I think it's on an asteroid, I heard, but who fucking knows, honestly. Let's leave it. Let's leave it to the experts, of which I am not. So yeah, you can see I have showers, which gets rid of the negative perk. I believe it's called grimy. I don't know if it gets rid of dirty hands, though. Let's see if this guy going over... Let's watch him shower first for Nom Nom Johansson. Oh, get clean, you dirty boy. Get clean, you dirty boy. Oh, what has he got here? He's still grimy. That's the thing about the showers. I fucking hate them. Okay? I hate them so much. There is nothing more I hate in this game than the showers in it. Like... They never finish them. They never finish them, but they're always in them somehow. Like, they'll go in and they'll do one, and then some other asshole will come in and do it for 3 seconds. If you put a shower, there's going to be someone in there at all times, so just treat it as if it's one of these actual needed things. The thing is, you're not going to get them all that stressed out if you just leave them filthy. Like, the stressors from the being filthy, as you well know as a filthy boy yourself at home, it's not that bad. Just sit in your own filth, and it's okay. You know, it's not okay. It's only reason it's not okay is if you're going on a date. Just take a shower, brush your teeth, get some mouthwash, just some deodorant, some cologne, or some perfumey, and put it on yourself for a date. But otherwise, just sit and stew in your own liquids. It's not that big a deal. It doesn't stress you out. It doesn't stress them out that much. You got a massage table, you're good to go, boys. There is some Doris Diggler raising of stresses, but as you can see, Scroat and Chef Lil Nips are both at 30-ish% from where they were before. It's really working out for us. As you can see, we can pause here and take a look around. We need some coal. We do need some coal, and coal looks like a lot of these darker ores, so it's kind of hard to identify sometimes. Like, this is coal, okay? This is coal. This is coal. That's coal. This is obsidian. Looks a whole lot like coal. It's not, though. So you got to sort of hunt for it. There is some coal, I think. Yeah, here's some coal that's scheduled to be dug. So maybe if we go in here, we can schedule some of this stuff as a priority to dig. Is this coal? Yeah, that's coal, too. So we can prioritize this chunk as 6s. And you know what? The economy of your priority points, it's all about you. It's all about what you have things set as. I personally use 5 as my baseline, and then depending on how frantic things are, I try to keep it at 6s for like building projects and digging projects. And then I go through and I have all of my priority stuff like food things set at 7s, refilling oxygen stuff at 7s, etc. And then later on, if I start panicking, then I'll pop them up to 8s and 9s, so they do that no matter what. It's all about what you like to do, baby boys, at home. What do you like to do at home? Tell me your favorite number from 1 to 10 at home in the chat below. All right, anyway, moving on. I'm a baby bird. Feed me with your love and affection. Let's all thank Scroat here for his hard work. What a dick. Okay, so I just think that I've done a great job. I want to pat myself on my back because I am excellent. As you can see, we're almost done with medbay too, and we can set up like a hospital somewhere. But yeah, the first thing I built in this place was our tanks. That was literally the first thing. Like, I would let them sleep on the floor for a few nights. I just got the dirty tank and the clean tank done. Didn't use the dirty tank for a really long time, but it was there, and I knew where it was going to be. Planning ahead is actually a pretty big thing, because, like, you could fuck up real bad if you don't. Because your base could be a death trap with for air and stuff if you aren't thinking about it at least a little bit. But as you can see, this place up here, it's got like 500 grams of hydrogen generally, 600 almost. And yet, this thing cannot pump it. It just can't. It refuses to do it. It has to be so dense in there for it to pump that it is actually insane. Medically and clinically insane. That said, it's fine though. Like, as long as it's getting rid of it and you're not reliant on hydrogen to get power, then you're fine. I do sort of wish I could use carbon dioxide for something, because we're producing so much of it. Like, these dudes pump it out when they're running. These guys obviously pump it out when they're making that sweet, sweet power. But all you can really do is get rid of it with the air scrubber. You can't use it for anything else. I wonder if you can use carbon dioxide. Well, I guess you use it on, like, use it for some stuff, but I wonder if there's like anything big in an industrial you actually use carbon dioxide for. I'm sure there's a bunch and I'm just real dumb. Don't leave that in the comments, because that will actually hurt my ego. Thank you. So we've got some coal being dug. Eventually we will have all the coal in the world. Let's go ahead and make all of this a 6. The problem we're having here actually is that this block here is blocking them from getting up and over it. So by prioritizing all of this, they'll be able to get to that sweet, sweet coal in no time. And because there's nothing else that's a 6 outside of like producing food and doing some research, they will obviously go up there and get straight up crunk with that copper, hopefully. Let's harvest this. So the lice will last you a while. Like, you can get a lot out of these lice, but it is very deceptive. You'll think, oh, I've got so much food, all these lice and stuff, and then they'll just drop off. You can go into your vitals, and you can pick how many calories they use, but honestly, you want to try to get them to eat until full at all times. As far as I can see. Let's go ahead, we'll leave it all. They're at 15% now. Fuck, they're doing well. Those massages, I feel like at this point, if you've been sitting on a massage table that just pounds into your vertebrae, non-stop 24/7, and you've been on there for 2 full days, there's a good chance that you've sort of passed the threshold between a massage being a good thing and a massage actually crippling you from the legs down. But I'm not a massage boy, as they call them in the profession. I believe that's what they call themselves. They go to school to learn how to massage. I believe the technical term is actually massage boy. Boy now actually being gender neutral in the modern day. So don't get it twisted, boys. Don't get it twisted. Or me. Don't get me or it twisted. Oh, this is fantastic. What a life it is. Oxygen not included, man. If I had to give it a score in its current state, it would still be like an 8. And I think it could potentially be a 10 by the end of its development when it gets into the beta areas. Because it's already got so much to do. And it's just come out on alpha. It's not even on Steam. It's quite impressive what Clay Games have put together so far. It's well worth the $20, I think, in my opinion, if you're into games like RimWorld or any sort of colony management games. It's sort of like, I will say it again, it's a combination between Don't Starve and RimWorld. You concentrate on different things in this than you would in RimWorld. It doesn't rely on random events. You think, at the first, you're like, this is called Oxygen Not Included, but really the air isn't all that big a deal. But honestly, once you get into the game, it really is a huge part of the gameplay loop. You're going to be looking at this tab a whole lot, like just to see what sort of status you're looking at, where you need to build air related items, and to manage your flow of air. You're going to build your base so that certain types of gases can flow in certain ways. And it's really, really in depth and really intense. and I'm really happy that I played it. So yeah, this is Oxygen Not Included, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sort of ironing out the kinks of the 4-play series. It's basically a glorified / elongated first look series, but it gives me a chance to sort of take a slightly longer look and it not feel weird that a first look or a one-shot is actually 2 episodes or whatever. We can take a look in 4 parts. We can sort of say, okay, in part 1 we're going to focus on this, 2 we're going to focus on this, and so on and so forth. Really get a more in-depth look at a game, have a good time playing it together. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I got at least introduced you guys to the greatness that is Oxygen Not Included. Next time on 4Play, I'll be looking at a brand new game. I'm looking forward to recording that. Don't forget to watch the ongoing Wasteland 2 videos that I'm putting out. And I have a plan in the future to do a RimWorld series pretty soonish. So look out for that. And, of course, I stream every Monday through Friday on twitch.tv/EchPlays if you want to watch me play other games. Thank you guys all for watching. Hit the like and the subscribe button if you enjoy what you're seeing. I'll see you next time. Have a fantastic day. I love you so much. Oh, I love you.